Hello friends, welcome to my gardening channel growing container. So if you have a plant like that, you can see it is dying, and it is dying because of our fertilization that I did about 4 days ago. So why this happened? Because I give them same amount of fertilizer that I usually give to my old plants, but this plant is nursery brought new plant, and I by mistake I give them same amount of fertilizer. So then this happen. So what can we do now? How can we save if a plant is over fertilized? First of all, the signs are like this: the new leaves are dropping out, like they are not sucking water from their roots, and it looks like they need water, and their leaves are in droopy position. Second sign, they start to dry out green. You can see they are starting to dry out from the top portion through the bottom, because top leaves are a little bit more soft. You can see this is also dried out. Here you can see some of the older leaves are still green, but they start to turn yellow or brown and then drop. Mostly the top leaf start to dull, and they look like they need water, and the next stage they start to dried out like crispy green color. So if these are the signs and you recently give fertilizer to your plant, then you have to follow this step more quickly, otherwise your plant will die. It will die back from there through the end. All the leaves will drop, some will drop after getting yellow, and some will dried out green. So first step I did, I remove all the soil as soon as I get that it get too much fertilizer, because for 3 days it was completely fine. After first watering, all not all the fertilizer get into the soil because it was granule, but at second watering, all the fertilizer that was left also get into the soil, and through roots it get too much heat, and that fertilizer bound the roots, so their roots are not sucking water. So first step we need to do is remove all the soil and put that in a bucket of water, like dip that like that. All the roots are in the water, but the leaves are above the water for near about, you can see, 30 minutes to 1 hour, not more than that, so their roots get some new water. And also you can also shake them to clean any, like that, any fertilizer that stick on the root. So it is in water for near about 30 minutes. And now what can we do? Their roots are still looking good, and you can see some of them are producing new shoots because of fertilizer. But as the quantity is too much, the plant cannot bear this, and it starts to dying like this. So now we need a smaller pot. Previously it was in a bigger 12-inch pot, but now we need a smaller pot. So I use the plastic near about, you can see the 6 inches container, less than 6 inches. So it is a half of the size. It has too many holes at the bottom, so I put some cloth here like that. You can see how many holes there are, so soil won't stay in the pot. Now next step is, either we need a peat moss, or if peat moss is not available, then you can use coco peat as well, but do not plant this in the soil, because this soil is more airy than the other one, so it's better to use the peat moss or coco peat. Better is peat moss. So this one is the old one. You can use new one as well. It is even work better because it has some air pockets, but this one is completely decomposed. So let's add some soil in the bottom of the pot like that. Like this, and then take the plant, put it like that, so all the roots go into the soil easily. And now just put the peat moss. Make sure peat moss does not have any, if you are using old peat moss, it does not have any type of fertilizer in it. So that is very important. You do not have to mix any cow compost or anything. Otherwise plant is still suffering. It will die if you use any type of fertilizer. Another thing, even after reporting, it start to show the same signs because it takes some time to recover. Sometimes they recover and sometimes they won't recover, but now the chances are more. So previously if there are 10% chances, but now there are, you can say, 60 to 70% chances that it will survive, but there are still 30% chances that it will die because the plant is very small and it gets too much fertilizer. Also the condition is not very good right now. You can see how bad it is. It will drop all its leaves near about in 1 to 2 days. These leaves will dry out and these leaves turn yellow and they all drop off. Then next stage, it starts to burn from the top and the bottom. If it start to turn black from top to bottom, then we cannot save this plant. So it's better to not use any high fertilizer or heavy fertilizer whenever you brought a new plant from nursery, because it never get that amount of fertilizer. Usually the nursery grower in my area won't fertilize them because the fertilizer is expensive, so they give compost instead of chemical fertilizer. So that's why it never get any chemical fertilizer in its life. It is, I think so, 2-year-old plant. This one is Holland Rose variety, so it was expensive variety, but I will try to save it. So now I will water it very well. You can also water it from the bottom like this. So put that in. You can see it is, this soil is not very heavy, so it is just floating on the water, but you can water it like that as well. And you can see the soil is coming out. So I will water it like that and put some water from the top as well. Hello friend, here is the update of rose plant. Sadly it won't survive, so it gets fair die back after 1 day. So this is the update after 5 days and the plant is completely dead. So always make sure, if your plant is over fertilized and you see the signs, make sure to report it as soon as possible, because this plant died because I reported after 3 days, so which is a long time. So always make sure, if you apply fertilizer and you see some signs the next day, as soon as you see the signs, report it as soon as possible. Otherwise this plant, there is very less chances that plant will survive. You can apply the same approach, or you can leave, if you are new, you can leave some soil, the very minimum soil with the roots. Otherwise you have to wash all the soil if you are experienced. So what I did wrong, I reported too late, I think so after 3 days, which is a long time. So make sure you report it as soon as you get any sign. So Also, what we learned, that do not apply heavy dose to new plants because usually they won't take that much fertilizer. All my old plants that I give the same amount of fertilizers, completely fine, they are growing, but this one is new, so it is getting fertilizer first time, so that's why it did not take that much high dose. So DAP is very high fertilizer because it has 46% phosphorus, which is very high. So always make sure before applying only choose, yeah, like 6 to 7 inches pot and 10 pieces in 12 inches pot. So for example, this is near about 5 inch pot, I think, so you can do apply only 5 pieces, but I put near about, I think, 2 teaspoon. That's why this plant is died. So here's the update. I hope so this video help you in some way. That's why I am sharing this. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.